The trauma, the emotional pain of a major loss can trigger overwhelming feelings as they find their way to emotional recovery.
One couple has decades of experience helping people reclaim their lives from trauma. Joining us all the way from London, our UK therapists, Nik and Eva Speakmans. Good morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning and welcome.
Great to have you. Great to have you. So you are famous in the UK. You often go viral for a special kind of therapy. Tell us about the work you're doing helping people heal through fear and trauma.
Well, I'm going to say that the main thing is that everyone can overcome trauma. And I think there's a message out there that people will struggle for years and need to be on medication. That is not the case. And our therapy now, we've proved our therapy in the UK, and we've helped lots of people in the UK. But now we've got clinical trials that back our therapy up and show that people can actually fully overcome trauma.
So what is your advice to someone who's watching right now? We have so many people who are displaced from their homes here in Southern California, and maybe they're traumatized. I can't imagine going back to your neighborhood and seeing that nothing, for the most part, is left. What is your advice for people currently coping?
I mean, I think that, you know, we've got to appreciate that this is a really difficult time, and because of that, I think you have to be kind to yourself, and you have to appreciate that these are, these are not normal circumstances. So you've got to allow yourself that grieving process, which will take time. And I think also connecting with community and other people who have been in your situation also helps, because there is a lot to be said for a problem shared as well. And as well as sort of appreciating that, this is a turbulent time currently, but as human beings, we are incredibly resilient, and we will in time work through this situation. But I think self-kindness, self-care is all incredibly important.
This situation, though, there are thousands of people who are impacted. So it's not like if I had trauma from my childhood. We're talking about so many people in the same place. Maybe somebody doesn't want to reach out to a therapist. Maybe they've never done that before. Like, what do you tell someone who's never sought out mental health care?
I mean, well, firstly, there's no shame. I sort of like to use the analogy that if you imagine that every trauma and every problem you have, it's like blowing up a balloon. And the bigger that balloon becomes, the more tight it becomes, and the heavier the weight within that. So talking, whether that be to a therapist or to somebody in a similar situation, is like letting out a little bit of air out of that balloon to lighten that load. But there's also a great technique that we use as well.
Let's get into it. You have a demonstration for
Yes,
us?
yeah, I do. So it's a really simple technique. It's great for anybody who's feeling anxious or suffering trauma. And we can actually all do it together because the demonstration, you'll actually feel the difference.
And you at home as well.
Yeah, so everybody can
do
join
it together.
In. Yeah, let's all do this together. So what I'd like everybody to do, first of all, is to put their hands together. And how you've put your hands together there, this is your comfort zone, this is what you will do. So no matter how many times I ask you to put your hands together, you will always place them together like this. Now, currently what's happening is that you are in a situation that is incredibly uncomfortable, it's unfamiliar. So let's create that. So I'd like you to open your fingers and move them forward one space.
How does that feel?
Weird.
Yeah,
okay.
And it feels a little bit uncomfortable. And just so you have the contrast, go back to your comfort zone, the norm, and then move them all forward, and let's step out of the comfort zone. Because for so many people right now, this is where they are. So what I'd like you all to do is to quite simply, whilst hands are in the uncomfortable position, is just to give me a sigh. So after 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to repeat that, but this time as you sigh, I'd like you to drop your shoulders for me as well. So after 3, 1, 2, 3. And then one final time, this time as you sigh, let your shoulders drop. You can sink into your seat. You can let your hands drop down to the table if you wish. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so whilst your hands up, put your hands back together in what was uncomfortable. And what I'd like you to do is now go back to what was comfortable and then uncomfortable and notice what's changed.
What do you notice?
It doesn't feel weird anymore.
That's right.
Exactly.
Wow.
So what have we done there? Obviously, I'm just using the hands as a demonstration.
Comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the actual magic comes from the sighing. Because when we sigh, we actually help to release alpha waves in the brain. And that is what we help to release when we practice things like mindfulness and meditation. So what you do is you think about what is upsetting you, what is giving you anxiety, and you sigh. And that will really help to approach those things that you feel anxious about, and you can use it within those situations as well.
You also work on phobias, and yesterday you came to our studios and you were here for a few hours working with our executive producer on his phobia of spiders.
Correct.
So shall we bring him out? We're seeing some video there. And maybe let's bring him out, see how he's doing, and you can tell us a little bit about what you did, and we can check in with him. Jake, come on out.
Oh,
Where are
he's
ya?
holding a spider.
No, Jake! Oh my gosh!
Right?
Jake,
Wow.
how do you feel?
I feel great.
Like at ease.
Yeah, I never would have been able to do this yesterday.
So what did you experience firsthand?
Well, they did some treatment on me with my eyes and looking in certain directions, and I got to tell you, it's
my
just
God.
gone now. My worries are just gone.
No way.
What?
What did it take for this moment
mind-blown.
to happen? Did you
did it
pick it
take?
up out of a container?
It took 20 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, and you picked that up, right?
Yeah, I went. It was my idea. I went down to Scales and Tails in Burbank, great pet store, and I asked if we could borrow him.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh,
The
Jake.
question is, Jake, did you borrow him or are you now going to keep
Well,
him?
I might keep her.
Oh
I mean,
my
she's growing on me a little.
So cute.
Wait.
That is so cool.
What would you leave with the viewers, Jake? Like, it's possible to overcome.
I
your
would say
fear.
this absolutely works, and it works quickly.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you were just here yesterday for a short
Yeah,
time.
we use the same treatment as we do for trauma, for phobias, and we did this with Jake yesterday, and literally he recoiled when we showed him a picture of a spider.
And you
let
suffered
alone-
over 20 years with this.
20 years,
And
yeah.
changed in 20 minutes.
I couldn't even look at them. Now
Okay, how
Now
can people
you're
find out more
BFF.
if
Well,
they
let's
want
just pop up the information. We'll talk more about it after the break. We got to go. But thank you so much for being here.
NikandEva.com. We'll be right back.
Wow, you guys, I'm incredible.